Lower your TV.
Okay. So we were at McAllen. So he had the printing press in the U.S. and then when he met your mom, he took it to Mexico.
Okay.
So he thought business would be better there.
No, he just felt like going home.
Home. Okay.
That's what she
So-
described it.
Okay.
And that's why she always, if we met a man, a boy, when we were teenagers, we met a boy that was from Mexico.
No.
They always want to go home when they grow older because that's what
He wanted
happened.
to. So she didn't want you guys to take that same route of heartbreak.
But she was 21 and my daddy was 41 when they got married.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, 42.
she was 21 and he was 41. 42.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And her dad said, don't marry him, but I'm in love with him. Says, he's gonna leave you a widow with a bunch of kids. She said, I don't care, I still love him.
Okay.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. Do you think that she
She-
felt
but she-
like he was? Do you think that she looked at him like as if he was like a father figure because he was so
I don't know.
old?
I don't know about that.
Because she was so used to being safe with her dad that she might have felt like this is
don't know.
safe for me. I love him.
Uh-huh. He just, she never let that feeling known.
Okay. Maybe it's subconsciously,
Uh-huh.
like where you don't realize that you feel safer with, like, you know, the age, the maturity, and take that.
But all of us married younger men,
Uh-huh.
except Tida and Uncle Raymond. They were the same age.
Okay, and so this was like in 1942. You remember the rationing
Uh-huh.
and kind of like where your mom was very protective. The boys could do whatever they want, but you guys had to stay within like a certain range
Uh-huh.
of her. And then that was for school, right? School age
Uh-huh. Yes.
till like 7 to 8, right? And then after school age, what do you remember that happened after school age?
After, in 1946, her mama's brother got in touch with her
Mm-hmm.
in 1946. He found out she was still alive and in the United States, and he lived in Robstown. He had married and had a family.
So in 1946, you would have been 12 or so? Or is that, yeah,
33.
13? 13?
Yes.
So you would have been 13 here, and then you remember your mom's brother getting in touch with her.
In touch with her because
Uh-huh.
he was very sick. And she traveled to Robstown, her and Vicky,
Okay. Vicky, your sister.
Vicky, my sister.
Uh-huh.
They traveled to Robstown
Uh-huh.
in the bus and went to, to him.
Mm-hmm.
And
This
he
was her
said-
younger brother, right? The one that the dad had with the other lady.
No. This is her mother's brother.
Oh, her mother's brother. So that was her uncle.
Uh-huh. Her
Okay.
uncle.
Her uncle.
And he,
He was
Well,
sick. Yeah, he had
uh-huh.
Robstown. So where was Robstown?
Robstown was north of Harlingen. North
So they took a bus. She took a bus
from
with Vicky.
Harlingen to Robstown.
And where were you? Where were you during
Robstown
that
is
time period?
about 15 miles from Corpus Christi.
15 miles. Okay.
15 from Corpus Christi. Very
Uh-huh.
close to Corpus Christi, Robstown. And Harlingen is close to Brownsville.
Mhm.
So you know in the map how where Brownsville is close. Harlingen is close to Brownsville.
Brownsville.
And Harlingen is close to Corpus Christi.
Okay.
So when she was there and he was dying, he made her promise. You're gonna come and stay with my family. If anything happens, if I die, you come and stay with my family.
Okay.
And he got a big family already. Some of the guys were married, some weren't. But with the two families there, that's when she said no, because we're we were close in age. Like Enrique was very close in age to one of his sons, youngest one.
So she wasn't comfortable with that.
No, Mama wasn't. Says,
Okay.
I think we should go and rent a house.
Right. So he basically wanted her to come take care of his household when he died.
He wanted his children to be close to her,
Oh.
and they all were. They love her.
But she just thought it wasn't a good mix to be living with them and
She had to
with
get-
all the girls.
Yes.
So she was protective of that. Okay.
She said, no, I need to. But there were two. Says,
Was there anything in her life that made her like that, or
don't
anything
know.
that occurred with you guys?
no, it was only like you said. Now that you just mentioned, the life at the boarding school taught her how to.
Look for
Uh-huh.
different signs of how to keep your children safe, not to go
Yes.
with guys, and not to put yourself in those situations.
Yes, I think that, and some of the relatives, because when we came back, one of the relatives was a farmer, and he hired her. Take your children, you have baby children, you come and work in the farm. And then we would play with the food, throw it up. Not the little ones, which the twins and I were little, but the other ones, the oldest, the boys, the girls. And says, Maria, your family doesn't belong in the fields.
Because you guys were not really working, you're playing. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So she went to Robstown. She thought it wasn't a good mix.
No,
So
Yeah.
she took you guys to Robstown. She got a little house
yes.
and then rented a house. So she then had a relative that had a farm. And they
No, that was before.
Okay. So when was it before that she did that?
Mission.
In Mission.
Mhm.
Okay. So she was.
She went to work after we came back from Mexico. That's when she went to another cousin, because she had a lot of relatives. Another cousin
In
says,
Mission.
come and work with me in the fields and see if the children would take to it. And he says, I don't think so, Mama. Because he knew the business. He knew
So she was in
families.
Harlington. Then she went to Mission.
No. First we came to Mission, and then to Harlem.
Harlington. Okay. So the Mission, they said, I don't think you're here. So then she went to Harlington, and then she started being an accountant. Okay. And then she went to Robstown.
And from Robstown, she didn't work.
Okay.
Because by that time, Enchawa was working with the government. Some of the cousins, the Ansalduas, that's where the Ansalduas, remember I told you, my bloodline, Tapia is my dad. Garza is my mom. And Ansaldua was her mom. And the uncle that she had, Ansaldua,
Okay.
were in Robstown. So the Ansaldua, some of the men worked with the government in Corpus Christi, in the base. And they got her to come in and work for the government at 18.
Okay. So when she, Aunt Chowa was 18, she had connections, and they helped her get a job at the government. Doing what?
Probably accounting,
Accounting. Okay.
because they were in Chawa and in Toida are very sharp in numbers.
So this
and then
was
52.
1946 is when they
We
went
moved
to Robstown.
to Robstown.
Okay. And do you remember anything like with the government going on? Like anything, any societal changes?
No.
Nothing to affect you guys.
Nothing that would make a big
impact.
Uh-huh.
So your mom stopped working. How are you guys able to
Like I
survive?
said, El Chavo was in the boys.
Were helping the house.
Uh-huh.
So they were
Yes,
paying for
and
everything.
yes, that's how we survived. And whoever worked gave so much to the house.
Okay.
Even as a teenager, I worked and I had to give her so much to the house and so much for me. She would half of my pay
Would
went
go to the house and half went to you.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I had to dress myself, buy clothes for me and
So when Aunt Chawa and the boys went to work, then your mom stopped working because they gave money to the
house.
household.
And she managed that.
And where were you when that all was going on? Were you in school?
Uh-huh.
And you were at 1946. You were in high school, right?
No, I don't think so.
So it would be 1933 and 46. That would be no. You were 13. You were 13. So were you going into high school at that time?
No, I didn't go. I don't think so. Not at 13.
When the uncle died, did you feel lost or grief? No?
No, we moved.
It was just
Uh-huh. Another adventure.
adventure. Okay.
We took it as an adventure because they came for us in a truck to take all our. We didn't have very much uh, possessions of furniture, so she dressed us all in blue jeans
Uh-huh.
and white shirts.
Okay. So you guys were kind of like you could share.
Huh?
Button shirts in the front or the back?
Button shirts in the front and
And
blue
white
jeans.
So you guys could essentially share your clothes if you wanted to, or no?
At that time,
You guys weren't the same sizes.
no, it was, you had to buy for us. You wear it until it's old.
It's
And we
old
were
now.
not hard on them. Like I told you, the
Shoes.
I had shoes from when I was when I got married, which I'm married at 24. It lasted 10 years, my shoes, that I had bought myself, even if I was married. I'm not very, hard on my clothes.
So
The
you're
only one that was hard was Emima with her shoes. Because she would open, I don't know what was her,
her step
that she opened the seam of the shoes.
Okay, so you like were more protective over your clothes. I wanted to stay nice. I wanted to stay
Yeah,
good. I want it to last longer.
but I guess so, because the one thing that she made, my mom, even though we were poor as church, the only thing that she bought us that was good was the shoes. It says you have to take care of your feet.
Oh, okay, so the shoes were very important for you
Oh,
guys
yes.
to keep.
Yes. So
When you bought church shoes, she kind of instilled that in you, like, these are
Yes.
good shoes. These are for your church shoes.
Yeah.
So then when you get older, you look at shoes like,
And I was the same way with my kids.
okay.
Just because they would complain to me, Mom, what do I have to, when you get old enough, you buy your shoes, you buy whatever you want to. But your feet, Mija, are very important.
Right.
Because without, we saw, and she saw, people that would cramp into shoes that were smaller instead of being, right for your shoe, for your foot. Some people will cramp.
Oh, so she thought your shoes are everything to you. Like
Yeah,
to have
your
good feet, to have good
Uh-huh.
posture. Okay.
Yeah, that was her. I don't know where she, like I said, but like you told me, and it played. Maybe it is. She did learn a lot in that school.
Cool. So shoes were like important.
It's very important because it says your feet are very important. In the diet, it says you don't live to eat, you eat to live.
Okay.
That was another quote she told us. You don't live to eat, you live. You eat to live.
Eat to live, not like food is like not Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
You
I'm
eat
just,
it, eat it.
no,
No. It's
you
just
eat
the
when you're
food.
hungry and
Okay. Yes.
just to live, to take care of yourself. So did she look at food like, was it like like recipes or anything like that that were, or was it just food? Food was on the table, and that was basically it.
Whatever it is.
It is. It is. There wasn't like, oh, we're having a special pie.
No.
It was basically like,
Like I said, if we like to cook,
mhm,
she let us cook.
mhm.
We didn't like to cook, don't cook. Wash the dishes.
But she didn't care what you cooked.
No.
Right. It wasn't like important for her
She wasn't a
for it
very
to be
good cook either.
perfect.
She wasn't. The only thing that I liked about my mom was making tortillas.
Okay.
I liked
Making them with her.
That was the only thing.
So that was a bonding moment, you think?
I
with
guess
you?
so. Because I know she used to say, I didn't even know how to boil water.
She said, I don't know. So she didn't know how to cook, or
No, because in that school that she went to,
she
they
didn't
were
have a
waited.
mom. And
No, but you're waited on. Everything was brought up. You come to eat.
oh,
And then she went to
so she
stay with
didn't
her.
have that like with her mom, that moment of let me teach you.
Uh-huh. She didn't, and she was in the boarding school. In the boarding school, they go ahead.
Okay, I was just like, are you
In
finished
the-
with it? I was
Uh-huh,
looking
yes.
for-
In the boarding school, you're just called to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You're not called to go and work in the kitchen or.
Right.
And when she was in her dad's house, they had a maid that made the food. So
She
it's time
never
to eat.
learned, yeah.
She never went in the kitchen. She worked the books. Her dad is grocer.
So she was more concerned with her education and
I guess so.
like worked on her moral, like her stance better than her cooking abilities and like a wifely
Because
duties and
when
stuff
she
like
got married, they sent the maid to her
that.
at
Okay.
home to teach her.
Mhm.
Then that's when she learned how to. But she was never a good cook. She called, no, she said, I just learned to. Because she says, what I cook, I couldn't even eat.
Oh, she didn't like it.
But your dad ate everything I cooked. She said, poor man. He says, but I
Put some
didn't care.
poison. So how did she learn how to make tortillas? Just
The
learn.
maid
Maid?
showed her.
Was the maid Mexican
Yes, the
or
Mexican lady. They had a
Mexican?
Mexican lady. And she worked the house of her father, and then she came and teach her Maria how to cook.
Okay. So by this time, you guys were you were 13 in that time frame, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember anything that might have been like stand out to you, that like a tragic or any life-changing experience?
Well, we went to school, then we started working, because that's when I started working in the grocery store.
Okay.
From school, they gave you
A pass,
what they call it then.
like a permit or something like that.
Well, they tell you, I don't know, you took a job that was, they would give you credits if you went to work.
Oh,
You did
okay.
credit, I don't know how they call it.
Okay, so that kind of like gave you more independence, right?
Well, I guess so, I don't know.
Mhm. So, when you guys were in Robstown, was her dad? That's when the maid came with you guys.
When she got married,
Oh, it's
the
when
maid went to her.
So she was in Mexico,
And
or
then no, in
it was
McAllen.
just in McAllen that she.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then at that time period, what was your relationship like that with her? So you like making tortillas? Was it kind of the same, like flourishing? You
Uh-huh.
could talk about anything.
I don't remember, Mija, that you're busy going to school, going to work.
Work. So you kind of like it.
You know, she let us be ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that that you says what anything happened to him. Well, Nan went in the service when he was Nan is Adrian. Went in the service when he was 18, and then
How old would that made of you?
I don't remember.
So he's 1928, and when he was
33. He was 3-4 years older than me.
okay, so he was 33 at that time when he went, or no, you said 19.
18.
Okay, 18. So that would have been 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So right when you guys moved to
Robson,
Robstown, he went to the
Army,
army.
and he
Okay.
was stationed in Japan.
And that's when the war was.
No, but he came home. I think he joined because we went to Robstown in 1946. We moved to Robstown. So the war was over.
War was over after that.
And he was sent to Japan, and in Japan he got a girl pregnant.
Okay.
But at that time, just like when Julio was in Japan,
Uh-huh.
the priest, he